Hello, everybody out there in the Facebook world. We are going, so bear with us, we're doing our first live. We are doing it today about turtles, so go ahead and comment with your questions all about Iowa turtles. We are going to talk a little bit about the turtle you're going to see today. Which is our Ornate Box Turtle. So if you're familiar or have had kids in our preschool programs, they have seen our little Ornate Box Turtle. So just bear with me. I'm just trying to see if I can make sure. Okay. What we're going to do, and hopefully it works, that you can comment. And not only I'll answer your question, you'll probably still hear my voice. I just won't be on screen. And then I can also comment my answer in the actual comments of the live video as we go along. So, we're going to start. I'm going to turn my camera around so you can see Turtle. She's ready. This is her permanent home in our office here on our shelf. And so much larger cage if the kids get to see me with her. She's actually usually in our transport cages that we bring out there. So she's got water, a little Heidi cave in there. And then a dish of supplemental food as well. But we're going to watch her eat and get a little bit of a closer view with her. So she might just go right to town. I put her into a separate cage for her to eat her worms. Hopefully this is not too far away. We're gonna see if we can. So she is an Ornate Box Turtle. And so, might be moving this a little bit so you can just see her a little bit better. She is an Ornate Box Turtle, so that means that she is endangered. Let me know, guys, if you can't hear me or if I get far away or something from the camera or something. So, earthworms are kind of a staple in her diet. So, we also do feed her strawberries, tomatoes, things like that lately. And this feeding is just her strawberries, or her worms, I should say. And then, like last week, she got some strawberries. She usually, box turtles will carry the food off and bite the squirming little head off of the worm and then kind of just go back and eat it. So if she realizes or gets to the point where she realizes that there's two in the cage, that she will do it more than once, kind of just eat it and walk away. Or I should say bite it off and then walk away and then do the other one. So she's an Ornate Box Turtle. So right down here, this design on her shell tells us that she's an Ornate Box Turtle. So she's an endangered species to Iowa. And then we have a permit to have her, and then I have an additional permit to show her to kids, even on Facebook. That's so. She's probably not used to me talking so much while she's eating. Like I said, our goal with our Facebook Lives a little bit today was just kind of break up the day. And you guys, I don't get to see kids, so this is the closest I'm gonna get to to my interaction. But yeah, so sometimes she's not. I don't think she's too used to me talking a lot while she's eating. Oh, now might go after that second one. I do not feed her in her large cage that you saw earlier. It would make a mess. And then I would have to clean the cage a lot more often than I already do. So so she also is, we've had her for about 3 years now, even though she is going to be 10 years old in June. And we know that because there are little wrinkles. Oops, she saw my finger coming maybe. Wrinkles on the side of her shell over there. She is a land turtle. People ask me that there, of course, out in the world there are land turtles and water turtles. And so she is a land turtle. Just checking here. I'm going to check to see if there's any questions as we're going along. Maybe. All right. Thanks, Gary, for joining us today and commenting. So now I can see a comment. Yay. This is working. So yeah, she eats right now once a week. Soon, as she gets more active, she will be eating up to 3 times a week. She is one, we've had turtles before here in the office, and it being in a warm office, they don't truly hibernate, but she's a rarity. I don't know. She will still kind of hibernate for us. And so all of January and into February, she didn't want to eat. She didn't want to be woken up. She didn't want to eat. But she is right where she still gets to go to the vet like any other animal or pet or anything like that. So before the winter, she was weighed, and she's weighed in grams when they weigh her. And she's right where she's supposed to be for a box turtle of her age. So we're not really we haven't been really worried that she is going into hibernation for a little bit of time, at least, where she doesn't want to eat. She saw kids actually out in programs most of the month of March. I do a preschool program with turtles in March so most of March she was out and about with me, seeing kids. So it was kind of funny, about a week or two before March, or before our first program, she came out of hibernation. So perfect timing. So she is an endangered species. Where we would find her closest would be Potawatomi County. We don't have any records of ornate box turtles being in Cass County, though western Cass County would be ideal for their habitat. We have sandier soils over there. They want to live in sandy prairies. So they are found in parts of the state where we have sandy prairies. And so, and that's where we still find them today. We do still have populations of them in Iowa. They are very, very endangered. Again, we probably have less than 300 of these turtles in the wild in Iowa. Somewhere around that number in the neighborhood. They're just very habitat specific, especially here in Iowa. So the Luss Hills would be decent habitat for them in the wild, and things like that. But like I said, they're just also very endangered. They're not endangered everywhere. They are endangered in Iowa, but they are not not of high concern in Nebraska, where there's much more sand in Nebraska. So feel free to be commenting your questions as we go along. We're gonna watch her eat for a couple more minutes. Like I said earlier, she eats the kind of the wiggling heads off of the worms first before she eats the rest of it. She does get water. She can't swim. She's a box turtle. She's a land turtle, so she can't really swim. And so she does bathe in her water dish, and that's how she gets her fresh water. And that's in there all the time. Don't think, I was saying earlier, no, I'm not sure if she's so used to me talking so much while she's eating. We usually put her to eat, and then we kind of just leave her alone and we go about our things in the office. How long do they live? Good question. So she is going to be 10 years old. We've had her for 3 of those years. In captivity, box turtles are lucky to live to be 15 to 16 years old. Our other one that had passed away, she was exactly 15 years old when she passed away. And that was just literally of old age. So, now other box turtles, so she's an ornate box turtle. So, if you read or see things about Eastern box turtles are, they can live a little bit longer up in the wild, and they're much more common, but they live to be 20 years old in the wild as well. If she was in the wild, she would be lucky to get to be 12. So being in captivity adds a little bit to her age. So we try to vary her diet too. So she's getting worms today, and then probably on Friday before the weekend we'll offer her strawberries or cherry tomatoes, something like that. I keep saying she's a she, and we know she's a she, just because of her eye color. I'll kind of come down and go a little closer so you can see her brown eyes. If she would have red eyes, she would be, or it would be a boy. And you can only do that with box turtles. Otherwise, you have to look at their shell to tell boys from girls. But with box turtles, you can tell by their eyes. So we started out with 2 worms in there. And she's almost got 1 worm totally done. Good job. I figured she was hungry. But. Ooh, how big do they get? That's a good question. So about, pretty close to after this year, after they get to be 10 years old, with box turtles, they will start to really slow down. So the edge of their shell grows every year, and so that makes the new wrinkle, and that's how we know they're a year older. But as they get older, those wrinkles get super close together and they don't grow as much. So she, once probably after this 10th year, her wrinkles will start to get, every birthday afterwards, get closer. Her shell won't get as big. So she's pretty much full grown. When we talk about water turtles, same thing with the wrinkles, but they can get to be much bigger, and a lot of our water turtles in Iowa grow until pretty close to the end of their life. She's decided I'm gonna wait on that other little piece, I guess. She doesn't really make too much noises, though. When she eats, her beak does make some noises and squeaking and things like that. I do put a lotion on her shell. That is like her drinking a big glass of milk. And so she gets a lotion that soaks into her shell, and that's like her drinking a big glass of milk. That gets her vitamins and things like that that she wouldn't get out in the wild right now. Her claws are a little bit on the long side because, again, she's not out in the wild walking on rocks so much. So that's one of the things we take her to the vet, and we trim her nails. All right, guys, get your last questions in. We're going to be on probably for about 2 more minutes. All right, no problem, guys. Well, thanks for joining us for our first live. Flip the camera back around. Like I said, thanks for joining us for our first live. We are probably going to go live next week as well, and on a different topic. So we might do some polls and things like that of what topics you guys want to know about, or things you want to see. We're up for anything here in the office. Oh, where did I get? Those are just plain old earthworms that she's eating. Yep, those are just plain old earthworms, ones you'd find out in the ground that we could get for her. You got it. All right, guys. Well, so join us next week. We'll try to even give you even more warning what day we're gonna go live. We did it today on a Wednesday because it's Wild Wednesday, or we've done Wild Wednesday posts before. All right. Well, thanks, guys. Survive out there.